In this video, we're going to show how to solve for the effects of a fiscal expansion in the US economy. The fiscal experiment we're going to consider is a 1% increase in government consumption expenditures relative to GDP in the base solution. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a series for government consumption expenditures which is consistent with this. To do this, I type in series COG, which is government consumption, _1. The _1 indicates the scenario that I'm going to be using. That's going to be equal to the original COG plus 0.01 multiplied by GDPR _0. So that amounts to 1% of GDP in the base solution. So if I hit return, and then I look at the two series, I have show COG and COG _1. And you see the difference between the two. COG was the government consumption expenditure I assumed in the base solution. COG1 is what I'm going to assume in the simulation that I'm about to carry out. The next stage is I need to set the overrides for the simulation. So let me first of all just close down this window and then go to the model and click on scenarios. Now I'm going to be working here with scenario 1, and what I want to do is to set COG as an override for scenario 1, so it will use all the same exogenous variables as it used in the base solution except for COG. So if I click on overrides and then type in COG and click on OK, it's now set COG as an override for the scenario 1 solution. Now I actually want to do my solution for scenario 1 and then compare it with the base solution which I carried out earlier. So to do that, I click on solve. You notice that the active scenario is currently set at scenario 1, which is what we wish to do. However, experience has shown me that if I try to solve for scenario 1, the algorithm will not converge. I need to reset the solution criterion. So I'm going to click on solver here, then click on the convergence criterion and alter that to 10 to the power minus 6 rather than 10 to the power minus 8. And I found that I need to do that in order to get the model to converge to a solution. So I'm now going to click on OK, and the model will start to solve for scenario 1. Given the fact that I've reset the convergence criterion means that the model will now converge and the solve completes after 36 passes. Now, what I want to do is to examine the effects of the increase in government expenditure on the model solution. So I can do that in several ways. First of all, I can look at it directly by using the show command. So if I type in here show GDPR _0, that will give me the base solution for GDP. Then GDPR _1 will give me the model solution. And I'm also going to look at the percentage difference between the two. So I'm going to type in here 100 multiplied by GDPR _1 divided by GDPR _0 minus 1. That will give me the percentage difference between the two solutions. If I hit return, and you see here, we see the original solution, the base solution GDPR 0, GDPR 1, my scenario 1 solution, and then finally the percentage difference between the two. And we see that reaches a peak after 4 quarters in 2014 quarter 4, when we get a 1.64% difference between the scenario 1 solution and the base solution. We can also use the built-in eViews facilities to examine the relationship between the scenario 1 solution and the base solution. To do this, let me first close down this window And let me go now to the model object and click on proc, and then here we're going to make a table of the results. So we're going to go to make group table, and we're going to just look at the solution for real US GDP. So I'm going to type in GDPR, okay, and then we want to look at the relationship between the active scenario, scenario 1, and compare that with the baseline solution. So we click on OK, and it produces a table here which shows me the scenario 1 solution and the baseline solution. It's also sometimes useful to create graphs of these solutions. So if we go to proc, make graph, again I'm just going to concentrate on US GDP, so I'm going to type in GDPR here, and what we're going to look at here is the percentage difference of the active solution from the comparison or baseline solution. So I need to check the baseline solution here as the comparison solution, and the active solution will be scenario 1, and we're going to look at the percentage difference between the two. So if I click on OK, that will give me a graph which will show first of all the two solutions. We can see the GDPR here is the scenario 1 solution, the blue line here. The green line is the original baseline solution, and we see that because of the fiscal expansion, scenario 1 GDP is always higher than the baseline solution. And then below it here we've got a graph of the percentage deviation of the two, and that's on the left scale here, and you can see that reaches a peak here at the end of 2014 at 1.64%.